Hello guys, welcome. Today we're going to be making an off-shoulder blouse and we'll be drafting the sleeve. So an off-shoulder bodice, as you can see here, is a bodice that starts away from the shoulder, leaving the chest open. So according to the neck depth, the distance from here to here, when you cut this out, this is how an off shoulder looks like. So have this idea as we draft so that you do not get confused. So fold your fabric according to the biggest circumference you have. If you are adding your hip to the bodice, use your hip measurement. If you are ending up to the waist, use your bust. So I'm cutting out 6 inches. Place your measuring tape like this. Then I'll add 0.5 inch sewing allowance. Then I'll start my measurements from here. So my neck depth will be 6 inches. Then from here, I'll go down to where my bust is. So mark your bust, my under bust measurement, my waist. Then this is my full length and my hemming at the bottom. Then this is the bust line, the under bust, waist, the full length and the hemming. So for my upper bust, I'm going to go up by 1 inch. So go up by 1 inch for your upper bust or chest line. This is just the area close to the armhole, where your armhole is. So for the off shoulder width, which is this distance here, we are going to calculate our off shoulder width with a formula of bust span plus 1. So my bust span measurement, this is from one nipple to the other, is 8 divided by 2, which is 4, plus 1 inch, which gives us 5 inches. So I'm going to mark 5 inches on the bodice. So this formula helps you approximate how wide your off shoulder will be. So for example, if these are the breasts and here are the nipples, it just means that the off shoulder will start 1 inch away from the nipple this side and 1 inch away from the nipple this side, making the perfect off shoulder. So if you want this to be smaller, the off shoulder to be shorter, you can add 0.5. If you want it to be wider, you can add 1.5 inch, but 1 is perfect. So we'll put in our 5 inches that we had found, right? That was 5 inches. The bust span, which was 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 0.5 for ease. My upper bust, I've added my bust circumference divided by 4, which is 10 inches, and I've added 0.5 inch to that. Then you can curve your armhole. Then we can go ahead and put in our bust span measurement, which is 4 plus 0.5 inch. So I'm marking at 4.5. Then join these lines. At the waistline, we add 1 inch dart intake, 0.5, 0.5. Then at the bust line, come down by 1. Then at the under bust, you add 0.5, 0.5. Then you can connect the darts like this. Then we can go ahead and add the horizontal measurement. So the under bust plus 1 inch for the dart intake, the waistline plus 1 inch dart intake. Then I can just drop this here and join the points. Then I wanted to curve this a little bit more, but you can just leave it. The first curve I think was better. I shouldn't be very curved. So I'm adding 1 inch sewing allowance. You can go up to 1.5 for your allowance. Then we're done with our front piece. Then I'll come to the neck depth and I'll just go in by 0.5 inch. At this moment I had forgotten about the allowance I left, so I'll just open up my allowance. Then this is already 0.5 inch, so I'll just curve it a little bit. I'll just curve it like this, so that when this is sewn in, as you can see, this allowance will be used for the sewing instead. Okay, so this allowance will be used for the sewing, and the curve is there. As you can see, here is our curve. Then I'll go to the back piece. I've left zipper allowance and traced out the front piece. Okay, so I'll put in my nipple to nipple measurement, of which I'm marked at 4 plus 0.5, so 4.5 inches is where I'm marking my nipple to nipple measurement. Then at the chest line I'll go down by 0.5 inches. At the waistline I'll put my dart intake of 1 inch, which is 0.5, 0.5. Then I'm just going to join these darts like this. Then I'll just drop the lines downwards like this. Okay, so for my chest line I'm going to put in my bust measurement, which is 10 plus 0.5 inch. Then I'll put the same measurement at the bust line. Then at the waist line you put in your waist plus 1 inch for the dart. Then you just drop that line and connect the lines like this. We can now join in the sewing allowance. I'm using 1 inch. I'm using 1 inch. You can go as much as 1.5 inch for your sewing allowance. So here is my back piece. It's aligning very well with my front is aligning well with my back. So I'll just trace in the armhole and the neckline like this. Then you can go ahead and cut the piece. So this is my front and this is my back. So we can now go to the making of the sleeve, and we're going to start with getting the sleeve cap height, a formula of bust circumference divided by 12 plus 1 inch. So I'll mark my 4.3 here and draw a horizontal line. Then my sleeve length is 8 inches. Then I'm adding 1 inch for hemming. So the upper line here, the bicep line, the sleeve length and the hemming. So for the off shoulder armhole length, you can get your armhole divided by 2, which will give you 8. Then add 1 to it, or you can use the bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. So you still get the 8. So you add 1 to the number that you're going to get, then add another 1 inch for ease. So this will give me 10 inches. Just follow this, guys. Just follow it exactly as it is. So I'll mark 10. So for my sleeve round, it was 16 divided by 2, which is 8 inches, which I'll also mark at the hemming. Then I'll go out at the hem by 0.5 inch, just to create this sort of slanted line. Then we can go ahead and add the sewing allowance. Use the same sewing allowance that you used on the bodice. So 1 inch sewing allowance. Then we go to the sleeve, off shoulder sleeve width. So this is the sleeve width from here to here, from here to here. Note that this will be on fold, right? So for the sleeve width, you will need your round shoulder measurement. Your round shoulder measurement is the distance from one side of the shoulder to the other, or around up to the back side. That is how you get your round shoulder measurement. Then you minus the neck width. So the off shoulder neck width is the distance from here to here, this curve that we made here, which is this same one here. So it measured 5 inches, and this is the front piece. So 5 plus 5 is 10. And for the back, it's going to have 2 pieces, making another 10. So the neck width is going to be 20. So 40, which is my round shoulder, minus 20 gives us 20. Then the sleeve will be cut, the sleeve width will be cut on fold. So we divide this by 4 inches, which gives us 5 inch. So this is your off shoulder sleeve width. 5 plus 0.5 inch for ease and attachment. Then we can go ahead and put our 5.5 here. Then attach this to the original armhole length and make sure your curve is not too deep. Go down by 0.5 inch and curve so that it aligns with the armhole from the bodice. So I have cut this, and if you put this on top of your bodice, you will see that it aligns. Okay, so I went ahead to pin it like this, and this is how the sleeve will look like. Do hit the notification bell so that you do not miss out on the sewing tutorial of this pattern.